Oh, you got to hear about me and what I did this weekend, man. I was the greatest. I just totally tore them up on, the field or the concert hall. Now, they're not like that self-assertive like Jews. Like the Jews will say, "Oh, I've got the best doctor," or I was the best on Sunday, or my kid was the best, or man, you should read my book, and you got to see my film, you got to watch my Torah talks, you got to read my blog, and it's just I just totally tore them all up.
You live in L.A. too long.
No, it's Jewish. It's not just L.A.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jews feel really good about themselves. They do. It's part of like being God's chosen people, and it's also because Jews earn their way. Like Judaism, even for secular Jews, you have the ethos, you earn your way. You study hard, you act, you produce, and when you have the attitude that you earn your way, you feel good about yourself. Now, Christians, they have it given to them. Salvation's a divine gift. It's given to them. So when you give someone something, it breeds a deep feeling of unworthiness. So the more Christian the Christian, the more unworthy they feel. The more Jewish the Jew, the more worthy he feels. Like a Jew who's keeping mitzvahs has a rock-solid sense of self most of the time. Like, they feel good about themselves. They have no problem. Like, you compliment them and say, "Hey, that was a great Devar Torah." You go, "Yeah, well, I've got 25 others on YouTube. You should check them out. And here's some tapes of some of my talks, and you should listen to them." If you say, "Oh, I've already listened to them," well, you can share them with friends. Like, these are experiences I have. Jews are like, they don't mind taking credit. It's like there's Rabbi Black. I think Benjamin Black tells an apocryphal story of an airplane landing in New York in December.
And you put that on your blog.
Pilot says, "Everyone, please stay in your seats until we come to a complete stop. For everyone who's followed my instructions, I wish you a Merry Christmas. For everyone else, Happy Hanukkah." Well, like out here on Pico Boulevard, like Goyim would never do this. People stop their cars right in the middle of the street sometimes to run into a store to pick something up. Goyim don't generally act like this, particularly not Adventists or Protestants.
I don't.
But Jews feel it. Some Jews
don't
feel
put me,
so entitled.
Don't put me in with the Frummie
so obnoxious.
Look,
so obnoxious.
Did you watch my video of Frummie?
Yeah.
I could just stand there all day and film people. They just don't care. They can block people all the way down Pico. They don't give a fucking shit about it. It pisses me off. It's got nothing to do with me.
The dark side of feeling entitled.
I hate that. It definitely exists. You put her in with a mop on her head. You stick her in a big car that's the big van with 25 kids, and she thinks she owns the fucking road. I can't stand it.
There are more car accidents and car fatalities in Israel, I think, than any other place in the world. It's because Jews feel so entitled.
Oh, I don't believe it's in Israel or any other place in the world. You want to know something?
Well, let me just finish my point. They feel so entitled. They drive so aggressively. It's like just horrific drivers.
Yeah, oh my God! I was in a bus.
They feel so entitled.
I'm not a bus, a taxi, a Sharut. Mm-hmm. I was in a Sharut. I was in a bus. I keep saying it wrong. I was in a taxi behind a bus. That's what I want to say. I was in a taxi, and the guy was driving it was literally, what do you call it when you're right behind the car? Drafting it.
Yeah.
He was behind a Egged bus on what they call the freeway that goes between Yerushalayim and Tel Aviv.
Yeah.
I could not look out the window. It was freaking me out. I was like looking, the back row of the bus was like sitting on me. I was like, oh my God, if the bus stops, we're all dead. And this guy didn't care. He was just flying down the freeway. I was freaking out. And he was like, "Hey, what's this way I always drive, man? What's the problem?" And I'm like, oh my God. I would never drive in Israel. But you know what? I've been told it's not nearly as bad as driving in Iran. Iran is worse than Israel. And I've been told that Iran is nothing compared to driving in China. And China is supposed to be the worst. I don't know. That's what I've heard.
Okay, so Israel's not the worst. It has like 9 deaths per 100,000 population.
Which is the worst?
Opposed to like 24 in Oman, 17 Cyprus, 10 Bahrain, 21 Libya. This is just in the Middle East, 21 Saudi Arabia.
How many in Iran?
Deaths per 10,000 motor vehicles, Israel's down. Iran is less than Israel.
Oh, so it's safer in Iran. Ha ha.
Yeah.
What about in What about in China? What do they have the score in China?
This is just by region.
Oh, okay.
So. But anyway, the drivers in Israel are...
Oh, they're bad.
They're bad.
I would never drive in Israel. I would never drive in New York. Have you ever been to New York City? New York City and
unless
Boston.
it's a Jewish holiday.
Oh, okay. New York City's really bad.
Then you can drive.
I won't drive a car in New York. I won't drive a car in Boston either. I think it's crazy over there. And when I was on my back east trip just now, I was with some people. I was in a car with a couple of people who are friends of mine, and they live in D.C. And they're from New York, and they said that get used to D.C. It's worse than New York. D.C. is the worst city in America to drive in. That's what I've heard. That's the scuttle.
Now, I was checking out your Facebook page, and just before Yom Kippur you said, I feel uncomfortable in the presence of other human beings, and in my entire life...
We're changing the topic, folks.
I can only count maybe a dozen people that I was ever truly at ease with in person.
That's true. Although, I had a conversation with my nephew after that, and we think it's more than a dozen. It's probably closer to like a few dozen. A few dozen. It's 50 years.
So what are the characteristics of the people that you feel comfortable with? What makes you feel comfortable with?
And my nephew said an interesting thing to me. He said that he thinks like the point of demarcation where Rabbs feels comfortable with somebody is if they've slept in the same room with him. Like, they slept on his couch in his apartment.
Well, if that's what I have to do.
They slept on his couch in his apartment, or he was sleeping over at their place or something, and then there's like this layer of this wall that sort of crumbles. If he makes it through that, then we put him in the list of the people. Because see, what it is that I have a wall. I have a fort. I have a fort that I have, and very few people are allowed to come through because it's like I got the big wall and the moat and the whole thing. You want to get to me, I don't let you in.
Yeah.
Right? So, I keep you at an arm's length, see? Right? And very few people make it past the wall. And, if you to figure out who made it past the wall, count who's ever slept at my place. That's what my nephew came up with. And I thought he's pretty accurate on that. Very few people make it to my couch.
So what makes you feel uncomfortable around most people?
I just have social anxiety. I don't know if it's something I can explain. I've got agoraphobia. I got a really bad social anxiety.
And what's your fear? What is it that you fear?
I'm not sure. But I just know that I'm extremely uncomfortable and nervous around others. Maybe I'm petrified they're going to do something to me. Maybe I don't trust them. I know I have huge trust issues, especially with women, because I've been repeatedly burned by women. So when if I'm with a woman, I'm always going to be on edge because I don't trust them.
But you're on edge with almost everyone.
But I'm probably on edge with guys for different things because I'm afraid they're gonna do something to hurt me.
Yeah.
They're gonna do something to hurt me. And so I don't want to be, and when people start off with conversations or something that is, I feel they're talking to me about, they're trying to get information from me that I find is none of their business, because there's something I just don't want to talk to people about when I don't know you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when people try to cross through that wall, and I don't want them to, I get very paranoid of the person. I'm gonna lock them out for good, because I think they're just being rude. You know what I'm saying? You quoted this from my book, right? Mm-hmm. I hate the line that Frummies ask all the time.
Where do you daven?
Where do you daven? You know what? It makes me want to slap them in the face. It makes me want to say, none of your fucking business. It makes me want to answer that way. It makes that. They're bringing it out of me. And I have seen Frummies, they will ask that when they meet you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like